Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Scoreboard Keepers. I am your host, the Ref. We'll be right back in 30 seconds.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to the Scoreboard Keepers. Around here, we don't keep receipts, we keep the score. So if you want to get on the board, make your point. If it makes sense, we'll add it to the board. If it don't, we won't. Scoreboard Keepers.
Ladies and gentlemen, how you guys doing out there today? Hope everybody's doing great. It's a wonderful day. If you woke up this morning, it's a wonderful day. You know, some people didn't. Let's just be honest. Some people didn't wake up today, man. So if you woke up today, man, give yourself a round of applause. Oh, man, ladies and gentlemen. Why the Giants and Daboll and Skattebo was fined after review of the Dart's concussion check? Well, just look for yourself. I call him the Bull. I know it's Brian Daboll, but listen, his name looked like the Bull, okay? So I'm going to just call him the Bull. Right here in that tent right there, he looked like the Bull. We're going to get this clock started, man. First quarter, man. We're going to listen, he looked like the Bull in that tent right there. What the hell he doing up in there, man? The head coach is supposed to be coaching the damn game. You up in that tent. Listen, if y'all was watching that game, right? Because I was watching it live, right? And I was surprised at everything that was going on. You know what I'm saying? I really was. I was surprised. Listen, I want to be clear. I want everybody to understand this. We have a video from months ago. Okay? I know if you listen, first of all, if you don't know who we are or what we are about, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel, because all we do around here is give facts. You might be just catching on, but you better log on. Okay? You better log on, because we was talking about things months ago about Jaxson Dart. Okay? Over here at the Scoreboard Keepers, we knew about Jaxson Dart a long time ago, right? So it was so much news going on about Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, and Cam Ward. We was like, shit. You know, I was personally, you know, in my biased opinion, I was hoping that he fell in the draft. You know, not particularly to the New York Giants. I was hoping he went somewhere else. Okay, and those of you that's been watching the show, you guys know where I said that I hope he would go. Okay, I didn't know that he would fall right into the Giants' lap. But we said, that's neither here nor there, but we said that Jaxson Dart was the best quarterback in the draft, hands down. We knew it. So we said, damn, when we're watching him go perform in the combines, I said, oh, this kid's going to go down there. He's going to show off. He's going to show off that big arm. He's going to show off that he can run. He's going to show us, you know, he's not scared. It seems like he has no fear, right? He plays off of like adrenaline. Sounds like he's going to go down there, and man, damn if he didn't. He was down there throwing that thing all around the damn yard. Start catching people's eyes, and then all of a sudden, I start hearing national media start talking about Jaxson Dart, and I was pissed. And I was saying to myself, I was like, man, you know, I was like, this kid is going to go somewhere where he does not fit. And I said he might end up in a place where he don't really want to be. You know, I mean, come on, it was possible. We see that. Listen, let's not act like that's not happening right now. Okay, we're sitting up here watching Shedeur Sanders go through something right now, and I was just like saying to myself that, okay, wherever he goes, he's talented enough to make it work. So let's just be clear on that. We know that he's talented enough to make things happen around him. With Cam Skattebo, you know, and then it was looking, you know, and then they have elite neighbors up there. So when I seen that the Giants had got him, I said, well, shit, he can make that work. they're in a rebuilding phase and they can build around him and make that thing absolutely look wonderful up there, right? But then they have Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston, right? And it was like, damn, well, where would this kid fit in at? I didn't think that that it was necessary for them to have all them quarterbacks, because they started reminding me of Cleveland. And I said, shit, they better start this kid right now. Let him start getting acclimated with Malik Neighbors and just letting him go. Of course, it didn't happen like that. He ended up coming in the game after a couple of games after they seen Russ, who I'm a big fan of Russell Wilson, but I was like, it was time. Everybody has their time when it's time to go. Russell just didn't look the same. He's not looked the same for a while now, and he's great. He's a great player to have in the locker room now, and in those meetings. And I think that's why you want to have a savvy vet like that around. If he can pass that knowledge that he had, he may not have the physical ability anymore, but if you could pass that mental knowledge down to a player like Jaxson Dart, you have something. So that's the reason why we're covering this today, because we are fans of Jaxson Dart over here, and we don't hide that. We scream it out at the top of our lungs, and I think that we were right in our assessment of saying that he was the best quarterback in the draft. I could not believe he fell to where he fell. To where he went. We always believe that there's a quarterback or two or three that's in every draft. It's just up to your team to find them. So most times, if teams are looking for a quarterback, they need to comment to ref over here at the Scoreboard Keepers, and I'll give them to you, because I don't think I've been wrong the last couple of years in the quarterbacks that I've talked about. And I'm talking about franchise guys, because I believe every year you have maybe three or four franchise quarterbacks in the draft, but only one or two maybe Super Bowl ready. And I think that Jaxson Dart's going to win a Super Bowl in New York. And you're hearing that here now. So you might have to go and rewind this tape maybe in the future, because I think eventually he will. He's going to have to, in this game in particular that we're talking about, there were some things that was going on between the coach and Cam Skattebo. And as you can see that the NFL wasn't playing around about these actions that they took. They fined them $315,000. So that's why they made the scouting report. They made the ref scouting report, because we do scouting reports around here. And the scouting report says tonight's report focuses on the development story with the far-reaching implications. The NFL and the NFLPA have imposed major fines on the New York Giants head coach Brian Daboll and rookie running back Cam Skattebo, following a sideline medical tent incident during quarterback Jaxson Dart's concussion evaluation. This wasn't just a procedural misstep. It's a full-blown integrity and safety moment for the league. In this segment, we'll talk about, the ramifications of this, because how they're talking. They've been, over the years, they talked about the CTE, and we've been looking at some of these players. Some have, in the past have unalived themselves, and then you have some that are going through things like in the public eye where it looks like it could be normal, but they could be attributing some of these things to the CTE, which is possible. It's not fully proven yet, but some players, and I want to say it may have been Junior Seau. If I'm wrong, you guys can correct me in the chat. But I believe Junior Seau's family donated his brain to be from this, this alleged CTE. And I'm going to say alleged because, I don't know much on it, but I do know this. I know that in the past, these players played with leather helmets. They may not have been moving as fast and may not have been as big, but they definitely played. I didn't hear about CTE back then. So it could be something else contributing to these issues. Now, that's a whole nother topic for discussion. I won't get into that right now, but I'm pretty sure you guys can understand what I'm talking about when I say that. And if you don't, Damn it, don't worry about it. Ain't for you. We'll talk about it on another day. So the scouting report goes on to say that on October 9th, during week 6 of the 2025 season, the Giants took on the Philadelphia Eagles. Late in the third quarter, rookie quarterback Jaxson Dart was sacked and went to the turf holding his helmet and head, he triggered what would become an NFL mandated concussion evaluation. So we've all seen this. This is when the doctors get involved and they say, hey, it's time to go to this blue bubble over here, this blue tent. Dart was escorted to the designated blue sideline medical tent where he underwent evaluation by the team physician, athletic trainer, and unaffiliated neurotrauma consultant. So they had a neurotrauma consultant right on the, I'm pretty sure this is probably standard now, standing right on the sidelines in compliance with league's concussion game day checklist. So this is, that's big. Cause I mean, those type of guys, I don't remember them used to, ever being on the sidelines, back in the day, but now these things are serious, and not to mention what we seen Tua going through. Tua Tagovailoa, when we seen him go limp, that really was the straw that broke the camel's back when it comes down to having these type of guys on the sideline. But then again, like I said, I've seen a lot of football in my day, and I've never seen anybody really go through the things that he's going through. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going into quarter number 2. I've never seen anybody really going. So still for me, with the science that's involved, I don't know if Tua has an underlying condition. It's possible. When back in the days, they would say, you just got a soft head, and I don't know. It could be this. It could not be this. I played a lot of football in my day, and I don't believe that I have any. I don't have headaches. I don't forget things, and I don't have any. I don't have any of those problems. And with him going through what we seen it a couple of times happen to him. It's like almost like if you pluck him in the head, he might, something could happen. And there's some people out here that are just like that. There's people out here that haven't played football, that have, or have seizures and all type of things. If they bump their head, they faint, some people have vertigo, that haven't played the game of football before. And, like I said, when it comes to science, I can't just blame everything on the game. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that because they've been playing this game for a very long time. So there's always casualties in war. So you're going to have a select few that may have some things that you don't even know about. Even the insurance industry right now, I mean, some people won't even cover you if you have underlying conditions because they don't want to be responsible for something that you may have that, they don't want to cover it because, like I said, you had it, prior to even getting the insurance, which is sad, but it's true. So the scouting report, let's continue with our scouting report, man. Let's see what's going on. We love our scouting report because we're thorough over here. When it comes to our scouting report, we don't be playing games. We're different than these other platforms. If you haven't already, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thumb up the video. Don't forget to do that. That's important. We're on our way to 10,000 subscribers. I need you guys to subscribe to the channel, okay? Because we tell the truth over here, and we try to keep it authentic as possible, and we're always going to give it to you with integrity, and that's important for us. So show us some love over here. However, during that exam, head coach Brian Daboll, I call him Daboll. I know it's Brian Daboll, but I call him Daboll because the way he was looking in that tent. It's kind of funny how he was up in there making sure that his guy was going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, this guy is, I mean, y'all don't believe me, man. Look, yo, my man is up in there. My man is up in there. And because he wanted Jaxson Dart. They had all the momentum at this time. All the momentum. They was about to beat the defending Super Bowl champions, right? And this guy's in the tent. He's like, yo, the Russell Wilson out there throwing balls in the dirt. He like, yo, where's my quarterback at? Get him out here. Hurry up. You know what I mean? It was kind of funny, man. It was kind of funny. However, during the exam, head coach Brian Daboll was seen poking his head into the tent and speaking with medical staff while running back Cam Skattebo entered the tent as Dart was still being evaluated. I mean, I saw this live, and I saw Cam Skattebo go inside that tent. Brian Daboll was peeking in the tent, but I saw Cam Skattebo go all the way up in there. He's a loose cannon, man. That kid's a loose cannon. I remember seeing him when he was his last year in college, when they was in that I think they was trying to make that playoff game, or it was a playoff game. And I just knew he was a pistol, man. I was like, this kid's a pistol for his size and stuff, the way he runs, because he runs like he's 250 pounds, man. You know what I mean? Though the league review concluded that Dart's care was unaffected and that the medical staff otherwise followed protocol, it determined that the Giants breached rules because the only medical personnel deemed essential to care of the athletes may be present. So it's basically telling you that, listen, the only people need to be up in there is those people that are actually working on him, not no water boy, not no coaches, not no owners, damn sure not no fans, not his family, which would be understandable, but they're not down on the field. But if his family was there, I'm pretty sure they would, it just wouldn't happen in that case because the family's not going to be on the field. Okay, they may be, curious and asking things and inquiring. And the only people that need to know about his health and his well-being at the time is the family. So I'm sure if they inquired about it, medical staff would inform the family. But, at that point, it becomes bigger than just the game in sport. It's life-threatening. And what could be going on after this kid retired? And he's young, The presence of non-medical staff created a perception of interference. So the bull, and y'all see him up there, right? I ain't got to tell y'all. This is what they're talking about when they say perception of interference, because the bull is up in the tent. The bull is up in the tent, and it looked like somebody trying to get him up out of there, but he damn sure peeking up in there. He full face up in that thing, hat off and the whole 9 yards. He looking. That's crazy, right? But it came at a consequence. Okay. There's consequences and repercussions for everything that we do, man. And it goes on to say, as a result, the Giants organization was fined $200,000. The bull, Brian Daboll, he was fined $100,000, and Cam Skattebo was fined $15,000 for a total of $315,000 in penalties. Ooh, that ain't nothing. I wonder who covered that. Man, you know what? Jaxson Dart may have covered it. Nah, I doubt it. He's a rookie. But, that ain't nothing. That's just a slap on the wrist and letting them know, like, listen, y'all can't be doing this shit. And it looked crazy. But I like to see that they cared. But Cam Skattebo was like, yo, man, come, let's get this game. And I was telling somebody in our chat that even if he had a concussion, they wasn't going to stop that boy from going out there and getting that game. I need y'all to understand that. Nothing was going to stop that kid from getting that game. It would have been, man, if they would have called that kid out of that game at that time, I'm telling you right now, he would have had to been bleeding in order to keep him out of that game, because I don't think he would have came out. And that's just what we just telling you over here at the Scoreboard Keepers. Our scouting report, Scoreboard Keepers Scouting Reports, goes on to say that the team has acknowledged the incident and is cooperating. The league and players union are taking this as a serious message. And that's why it always comes down to money, because when they want to get your attention, they hit you in the pockets, right? That's what they do. And when we want to get your attention over here, we give you the scouting report, because we go into things like no other platforms. And that's why it's so important for y'all to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, because we get to the get down over here. Okay. We get right to it. So let us continue with the report. For the Giants, this incident lands at a turbulent time. Why? It's not really. They almost beat Denver as well. Okay, that was a crazy game. So technically, the Giants could be on a winning streak here. Okay. And they're competing at a very high level. And this is without their number one receiver. When they start surrounding that kid with some receivers up there and they get the right cat. Shout out to that offensive line up there for the New York Giants coming out of nowhere and protecting that kid as well. That don't happen very often. And that running game getting started. Shout out to them, because out of all things, that could be the most underrated topic that's going on here right now. They're doing a good job of protecting him up there, and they're doing a good job of creating lanes for Cam Skattebo right now. I would like to see a more platoon attempt at because you want to save that kid. You don't want to give him too many carries right now because he's young. So he's going to want the ball every play, but you got to do things to protect him right now for the future. You don't want to run him into the ground. We see what happened to running backs after 2-3 years in the league. And listen, that kid's a bowl in a china closet. He's banging every play. He's making a lot of contact. So I would definitely platoon that with him, and I would get those receivers around Jaxson Dart. And you got something going on, because guess who's been benefiting off of all this good play? Their defense. Yep. See, this is what we do over here at the Scoreboard Keepers. We're not biased. We call it like we say it. We don't keep receipts. We keep the score. So we're going to call it like we say. This is what we do over here. We're not afraid to give the Giants their props. We love to see players come. Well, listen, that's the only way it can be balanced in the league. We don't want to see teams out here trying to assemble super teams. They got to be balanced in the divisions, man. Somebody got to be able to give Philadelphia a little run for their money after losing Saquon Barkley. I wasn't in support of that. Him running down the turnpike to play with that team. That created a super team. We want to see everybody in that division play, because it should be a good division. That once was a good division back in the day. Great. It was one of the best divisions of football. Yeah, Washington, the Giants, Philadelphia. Are you kidding me? And Dallas? Okay, I'm just saying. Just think about that. Just think about that for a minute. The Cowboys, the Giants, the Eagles, and the Commanders. That was a hell of a every week when you were playing somebody in that division, you were going to feel it, man. You was going to feel that pain, man. A young Cam Skattebo, fresh out of college and trying to establish himself, is now carrying a fine and unwanted attention. His presence in the tent, though reportedly meant to calm his quarterback, violated policy. He was in there I saw you, Cam. Hey, Scat, man. I saw you when you went in that tent, bro. And listen, you the one needed to calm him down, bro. Yo, though reportedly meant to calm his quarterback, violated the policy. That choice could impact his trajectory and how coaches use him moving forward. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. They're going to use him just how they've been using him. The only thing they're going to do now is they're going to surround him with some help so they can preserve him for the future. That's what they're going to do. That's what and if they're not doing that, that's what they should do. From a front office perspective, this means internal audits, additional training, tighter access to medical areas, and a cultural reset. Losses in trust can cost far more than monetary fines. The Giants risk being viewed as reactive rather than proactive on player safety. No, I disagree with all of that, because this was a team that has been suffering for a little bit and was damn near ready to put some brown bags on their heads. And they had the defending champs on the ropes on national television for everybody to see. So emotions was running high. And if you ever want to turn a franchise around, that was the game that did it. That was the game that did it. So stop playing around. Don't be mentioning things like that, because that's not true. That's definitely not true. We see a team that's ready to turn the curve with a quarterback and a running back that's not used to losing. That's their pedigree. They're not used to losing games. And we saw that. And Cam Skattebo was like, look, if we're going to win this game tonight, I need you. He was up in that tent like, I need you. You ain't got no concussion. So, Dr. Skattebo, man. Dr. Skattebo, man. Dr. Daboll. Dr. Daboll was up in there. League-wide and safety implications. The NFL is no stranger to concussion protocol scrutiny, but this case stands out. A head coach and player entering the medical tent during evaluation lifts the head injury fight into a new territory. So I don't agree with that. That was an emotional game, so I don't agree with that. And over here at the Scoreboard Keepers, we're not gonna put any gas in that tank because that was an emotional game. I was watching it. I couldn't believe what was going on. The expectations was crazy. It was high, had me on the edge of my seat. So I remember how much momentum the Giants had, and I remember Russell Wilson coming in the game and throwing a ball in the ground. Russell Wilson was throwing a ball in the ground, giving the Eagles another shot at it, and everybody's like, yo, on this next drive, you need Jaxson Dart back in there. And guess what happened? That's exactly what happened when he came out of that tent. The momentum came right back to the Giants. So this is how I know it was him. It was him. He was making that kid, it was a difference maker in that game. With the league now deeply embedded in legal sports betting, as we showed y'all, Chauncey Billups back there, who was betting as well, and all types of things. We're talking fantasy football, we're talking Vegas, New Jersey, and all types of things. You know what I mean? Like nobody's accounting for Jaxson Dart. I'm pretty sure Jaxson Dart got picked up by everybody after the game. He probably already was picked up, but people that did it was a lot of people probably trying to get him, because he was putting up a lot of points that day with his legs and his arm. So he's probably starting for a lot of fantasy footballers out there. Don't lie, I know it. I can see y'all right now. Believe me. It says, with the league now deeply embedded in legal sports betting, player health awareness, and broadcast scrutiny, the enforcement here is about perception, process, and precedent. I like that. It's not enough to follow the steps. Any appearance of interference undermines trust. The message from the league, even if medical staff did their job, if invisible coaching influence creeps in, it will cost you. Other teams, they're telling them like, look, don't be sending nobody over there telling him like, yo, hurry up, get him back out here. We need him on the field. The medical staff, they don't want to be interrupted in doing their job, and they don't want to feel like they're being pressured to send them out there on the field as well. You got 60,000 crazy ass Giants fans in the damn stands waiting for him to come out of that blue tent. Imagine them taking his helmet. If they would have took his helmet out of that blue tent, this is what you would have heard. Boy, I can't even imagine him taking that kid's damn helmet, man. But that's basically what they're telling them. They don't want any invisible interference or influence, right? And that's that pressure. Or they saying, or we coming after you. And that's what this fine did. They saying other teams will take notice, and the standard will be tightened further. And additionally, the Giants owner, John Mara, a member of the NFL's Health and Safety Committee, publicly addressed the incident, which underscores how high the stakes now are for team governance. Wow. I didn't even know that. John Mara, the owner, he's a part of this NFL Health and Safety Committee. So, I mean, now the governance now, especially for the Giants, is going to be, of course, they're going to have a lot of eyes on the Giants, but I don't give a damn. 60,000 screaming fans, full of that rocket fuel in a game like that. Man, look, it ain't no way in the world you was keeping that kid out of the game. I don't give a damn, man. You can go through all the protocol you want. If he say I'm healthy and I'm ready to play, put me in the game. Where's my damn helmet? That's what he going to say. and he would know it better than anybody else. So here at the Scoreboard Keepers and our scouting report, right? Because that's what we do. We do scouting reports on people. All right. I don't know what they do out there, what other people do, but if you haven't already, like, share, subscribe to the channel, thumb up the video, please. We're on our way to 10,000 subscribers. I need you guys to be one. Okay. The faster, the better. Okay. And if you guys want more reports, scouting reports like this, you want to stay involved, because all we do is keep it authentic, and all we do is come with the integrity, and we don't keep receipts. We keep the score. And my view is this. The fine isn't just a penalty. It definitely is a warning signal to the rest of the league that this medical staff, they don't want to be bothered when doing their job. I'm pretty sure they're making a lot of money for being down there. And if the NFL brought them in there, they're probably saying, like, look, if you don't want us to do a job, just don't bring us here. You want us to do our job. We want to do our job at a high level, and you guys got to respect our decisions, because this is what you brought us in here for. And we don't need to be hearing anything from Daboll. We don't want to see Dr. Skattebo. We don't want to see the bull. You know what I mean? We don't see the bull, but we don't want to see Dr. Skattebo either. This is why we're here, okay? And like I said, Coach Daboll, he might have been acting, like I said, in a heated competition, which I'm sure. In this modern NFL and the rules that exist to protect the players now, that's coming first, and competitive edge is definitely going to be second. Like I said, this could have been a life-altering situation, and before anybody, before Dr. Skattebo and all them, it's probably going to be his parents. You know what I mean? Who I believe were at the game. I think they got interviewed after the game as well. And that balance is non-negotiable. All right, it's non-negotiable. All right, it ain't even arguing. Cam Skattebo, listen, I love it. I love it. I don't want him to change a damn thing about nothing he got going on, because all that was that showed the love and the will to win. And guess what? He said something after that game that I absolutely loved. And this is when you start talking about culture. They asked this kid, they said, now you and Jaxson Dart have this big city. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going into the fourth quarter. I can't believe it. Going to the fourth quarter. They asked him, they said, now that you and Jaxson Dart have this city in the palm of your hands, and you guys are the talk of the town, how are you going to handle this? This kid said, I'm just going to listen. I'm just going to do what I've been doing. I'm going to take care. He said, all I do is work out, take care of my body, and play video games. Yo. The kid said, all I do is work out and play video game. That's culture. He's not starstruck by the big buildings and all the big lights. The kid is there to play football. And he don't give a damn if it's outside in the parking lot. He don't give a damn if it's down at the rec league. He don't give a damn if it's intramurals, because he reminds me of that kind of guy. He just reminds me of the kind of guy, on Thanksgiving Day, he down at the local midget league playing flag football. Like, that's what he strikes me as. He strikes me as that kind of guy. And I don't want him to change the damn thing about it, what he did, man. He acted emotionally, and that's just it. That ain't something that you say you grow out of or grow from. You don't do that. That's called passion. And we don't ever want him to lose that shit. You know what I mean? Damn it, if I go in the tent, come on in here. Listen, we ain't promoting it, but I'm just saying, damn it. You know what I'm saying? I understand the passion. And some of these people that's working down there, they don't understand it. They are right in the middle of battle. They don't understand that. They're right in the middle of battle. Nobody's trying to interfere with your job, but you're right in the middle of a passionate game and things that you don't understand of. You're operating totally different than these individuals that are down there. They've been preparing all week for this. So, but the organization must decide whether this is a one-time mistake, or is it going to be, we're going to see Cam Skattebo in the blue tent all the time. Like they don't want to see that. They want to kind of like get away from that, because I'm telling you, when he walked in that joint, like he threw that curtain back like he was, you know what I mean? Yo, Cam Skattebo, when he walked in the tent, he threw it back like a shower curtain. Y'all know how you throw your shower curtains back? Yo, that's how he went up in that thing. He went up in that piece like he was throwing throwing a shower curtain back like he was going up in the shower. Like, that's how he went up in there, like he didn't care, and went right in. Yo, I love it, man. I love it. I'm sorry. I love it. We need that kind of passion back in the NFL, man, and celebrations as well. For the NFL, I would say that the precedent is clear. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna penalize, that definite perception. They're gonna make you pay. If they don't know how to do anything else, they're gonna get to your damn pockets for sure. And some people have the money, but some people just don't like paying fines like that. I wouldn't be surprised. Now, I wouldn't say it with John Mara, though, because since he's on that health committee, I would say sometimes the team takes care of things like that. Being as though their owner has a position in the league on those type of policies, I'm pretty sure he's going to want to send that message down there. He's not going to want to rub anybody the wrong way. And so it's more than just optics, It's credibility for sure, and safety, no doubt. My final thing here is in my scouting report. I'm just going to say that if Dart stays healthy and the Giants, can rally this season and then have a great all season, because no telling where they can go in that division right now. There's a lot of people, a lot of teams down, and they seem to be a bright star in the NFC East right now. That's going to be good for them. But this incident, nobody's going to, especially those Giants fans. They're not, this thing is going to be done and over with. They're thinking about the Eagles again. That's what they're thinking about. They're thinking about the next game right now. They're thinking about that. When they saw that, they saw love. And I'm going to tell you something right now. All those fans up there, they embrace that shit. They haven't seen that kind of passion in a long time. Somebody like Cam Skattebo, man, what he was doing, what he did, shit. All he did was look just like a New York Giants fan. He looked like a New Yorker doing that type of shit. Let me just put it to you like that. He looked like a New Yorker, ripping that curtain back, going in like, what's going on? When he did that, everybody in there, all them fans in there was like, they knew that that Jaxson Dart was going to come back out there and get on that field with Cam Skattebo going in there. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, oh shit, Jaxson Dart coming out there no matter what. Now Cam Skattebo was up in there. He didn't even do what the Bull did. The Bull, Brian Daboll. He didn't even do what he did. The Bull peaked, but Scatty said, I'm going up in this thing, man. So our verdict, man, this is the scoreboard verdict today on whether we scoring or no scoring. This is what we doing. The Giants respect for protocol. I'm going to say score, because with their owner being who he is, they're going to respect that. All right, because he's going to be watching closely. He's up. If you watch him sometimes, I believe I see him up in the top in the skybox with binoculars. So he's going to be watching that shit. And I'm pretty sure in New York now, they're going to mark my words. I believe they're going to have guards down there now, next to that tent. Because the NFL does things like that. The Bull, Brian Daboll, right? The Bull. His leadership and judgment. Listen, man, that wasn't nothing but passion. And he did exactly what any passionate coach would do. Make sure his young players are okay, because that's his future. Okay. And I'm pretty sure it was a little selfishness in there as well, because if that quarterback's doing well, your job, this is a young quarterback. So the Bull can be around for a long time, literally. So that's a score. That's a point. Skattebo's sidelines awareness. Listen, I'm giving Cam Skattebo 2 points. Cause damn it, I love that you love your quarterback, man. I love that you love to win. And that passion, bro, not everybody has that. I was feeding off of that. Oh, I was feeding off of that. You'll run through it. You'll knock a wall down for that. And man, what you had me hype over here. And I'm not even, bro. Like I said, we call it like we see it over here. You know what I mean? And we cover everybody. Not biased. We cover everybody over here. Even though we do have our love, we cover everybody over here. And I love to see what you did, man. You know, you get 2 points for that. The NFL integrity and enforcement, yes, because they get a point as well, because they're going to find you. If you do something crazy, you do something you ain't got no business doing, they will find you. And they're going to get that money. I don't know how they come up with that number so fast. You know what I mean? They must got a grid or a guideline somewhere around there. But they came up with that amount super fast. Okay. They didn't waste no time. So ladies and gentlemen, this has been our scouting report over here at the Scoreboard Keepers, man. We always do our scouting reports every day on people, man, or whatever the topic is that we got going on. And this is a story of the New York Giants. Find over Jaxson Dart's concussion check is basically more than just about money. You know, it's about safety first, and then competition second. And they're going to definitely hold those players up there accountable, and the coach as well. And because they want to know, they want to send a message out there that everybody can trust that the NFL league will do what it's supposed to do. Comes to player protection, especially they be experiencing lawsuits and stuff after with that CTE stuff. So my question is for you. Do you think the fine was enough? Should there be more severe discipline? Do you think Cam Skattebo and all them did what they did off of passion? Would you do it if it was you in that situation? Leave your thoughts and comments below, ladies and gentlemen. I'll get in the comments and join you. All right, in dialogue. Let me know how you guys feel, and if you haven't already done so, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thumb up this video, please. Get it out there. And let's dialogue, man. Let's get in the chat. Let's talk about this, man. How you guys feel about this situation? Do you love the passion from Cam Skattebo? I absolutely do. That y'all hear listen, y'all hear the buzzer. The buzzer is off, man. So I'm your host, the Ref. I thank you guys for joining me here on the Scoreboard Keepers. We don't keep receipts, we keep the score. And make sure you guys log on, man. Stay in tune with us. Stay in touch. Turn on your notification bell. Till the next time, ladies and gentlemen, God bless. Or Cam Skattebo, man. Dr. Skattebo and Dr. Daboll. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been fun. Love you guys, man. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Become a part of the Scoreboard Keepers family. We call y'all the Scoreboard Bullies, too. So y'all know that. When y'all come up here and talk and we see y'all in the chat, it's the Scoreboard Bullies. So we'll see you guys on the next episode of the Scoreboard Keepers and the Scouting Report. And until then, God bless. And everybody have a good day.